quadrants which I believe are most important: education, attitude, aptitude, and communication. These are the 4 things which will make you successful, which will help you even get the entry into this industry, right? Education, everyone knows you need a nice degree, definitely, but that's, just maybe 25% of it, right? You need to have the right attitude, right? The basic expectation is that you are flexible in your outlook. You are able to work hard. There is no substitute to hard work, right? Smart, everyone talks about smart work, but smart work again is associated with hard work, right? You have to work smartly, but at the same point of time, you have to work hard. In all my career, or all the career of the generation before me or the generation after me, I don't see any substitute to hard work. You might be very, very smart, but there is no substitute for hard work. You should be able to work in a team, right? That, typically, if you look at the way we work in colleges, we are individual contributors, right? We work individually, we study, we get marks, right? There are some projects that we do in teams, but that is very, very limited. And most of the times we don't really understand the meaning of working in a team unless you are playing sports and things like that, right? So people who are in sports, they understand the meaning of teamwork better than people who are like hardcore into studies, right? Talking about aptitude, right? So one of the things that Manjusha ji talked about was IQ. We look at the whole IQ thing in a slightly different way. We call it aptitude. And when we try to select people, most of the time there are aptitude tests. So, right, what is that we try to figure out? Right, we try to figure out whether you have these skills, right? Whether you have analytical abilities, whether you have learnability, whether you have structured thinking, whether you have problem solving skills, because this is what will take you to the next level. And then the communication piece becomes very, very important if you want to do well, which is the fourth quadrant, I would say. There again, it is in a way, when I talk about articulation, it is in a way related to structured thinking. If you have structured thinking, you will be able to articulate something better than if you don't have structured thinking. And this is one of, at least, I mean, based on my experience, this is one of the things which I've seen, that in the Western education system, they really put a lot of emphasis on structured thinking, right? So when I interact with my colleagues in the US who have studied in US or grown up out there and things like that, they may not be, Indians are supposed to be very smart and things like that, but when it comes to structured thinking, they are way ahead, definitely. And one of the reasons for that is the way they have been educated. And one of the things which is like undermined a lot by people is language skills. Please understand that even after all these years, around 90% of the business that we do is with overseas, right? Most of the times you will go and interact with customers which are in other countries, and hence the language skill becomes very, very important. It's very, very important that you have good command over the language.
Uday, just before that,
yeah.
Someone asked aptitude. Basically, what aptitude for IT industry we need?
Attitude or aptitude?
Aptitude.
Yeah, so aptitude. So this is that fourth quadrant that I'm talking about. So fourth quadrant are education, attitude, aptitude, and communication. Aptitude is the 4 things that I have listed, and so it's all up. Say, okay, so why these things, right? So most of the times, so I will talk about various options which are there. But let's say you start coding, right? When you start coding, you have to be able to analyze the problem which has been presented by the customer or in the specification, and based on that write the code, right? So that is why some of these things, many a times you have to be able to use mathematics effectively. It is not complex mathematics in most of the cases, unless you are doing some data science problems and things like that. It could be simple mathematics, but I think you need the ability to think. Essentially, ability to think is required, and learnability is required, because the technology keeps changing very, very fast, right? So I gave the example of Angular. You know how Angular 1 has evolved to Angular 7, 8. Now, if you had started with Angular 1, you would become obsolete by now, So it's very, very important that you are able to learn new technologies very, very quickly, right? So if you look at the 4 quadrants that I'm talking about here, I'm not talking about what you already know, right? So if you know certain technology, if you know certain programming languages, if you know certain processes and things like that, that is well and good. That's fantastic. That's very good to have. But can you learn something new, right? That is where this whole aspect of learnability comes into picture. And and apart from that, when you sit down and do coding, or even if you're doing testing, the structured thinking, the ability to think, the ability to solve problems, and ability to analyze problems and look for solution is very, very important, right? So knowing the technology is only one thing, right? What you do with that technology is the other thing, right? Which is where the problem solving and analytical abilities and structured thinking comes into picture. Hope that answers the question.
And articulation also he wants to understand.
So articulation is the ability to explain something properly in a structured way, right? So when I say structured thinking is all about whether you are able to uh, think about something in a proper sequence, where see, so when, okay, so let's look at storytelling, right? Or when we write we write an article or something like that, right? Typically there is a certain way of doing that, right? There is an opening, then you introduce the characters, then you build the plot, then you tell the story, and then there is climax, right? This is typically a structure. Now, if you change the sequence, sometimes the sequence is changed where movie goes into flashback and things like that, but that is also thought through. But if you change the sequence, right, where let's say the character is not introduced, and you tell some story about that character, you will not be able to relate. So I think so there is a certain sequence or way in which you are supposed to tell something or explain something. That is structured thinking, right? And when you speak that out, when you communicate that, or when you write a mail, if it is not done in that structured way, it will be very, very difficult for the other person to understand what you're trying to say. So that is the piece of articulation, right? Are you writing or are you saying something in a way which is easily understood by the other party? It is meant for the other party, right? Articulation is also about, so when you're writing mail or we're explaining something, it's also about whom you're talking to, right? When you're talking to customer, you have to explain in a certain way. You're talking to your manager, it has to be explained in a certain way. When you're talking to a team member, the amount of detail will be different. The language that you will use will be different, and the sequence in which you will go will be different, and so on and so forth, right? So articulation is in a way connected to structured thinking. Okay, so let me move on from here. So after saying that yes, you have all these things, right? You have education, attitude, aptitude, communication, and some of the other things that I talked about in the previous slide in terms of our ability, your ability to fill the gap, expectation chasm between industry and academia. You will have various things which are available in the IT industry, right? I have listed out a few here, which is maybe the most regular to say, so to say, but there might be some other things which may not be covered here actually. So the most traditional or most typical is development or the engineering space, where you essentially do coding, right? Then there is testing, which is essentially testing the code which has been written by someone else to see whether this piece of software is meeting the requirement, whether it has been built for the rightly built for the purpose. Then there is something called support. Support is all about providing services which either support the development itself or it supports a business itself. So for example, if you have there is an airline business, right? Someone has developed a piece of code and it has been developed to the airline that has to be run, right? So there will be either a data center or you will run it in the cloud and so on and so forth. It has to be provisioned. So you have to provision the right amount of hardware. You have to get right kind of software. The network has to be provisioned, and then the whole thing has to be monitored to make sure that the whole thing is running continuously in the proper way. So that is the support piece. Then there is business analysis, domain expertise piece, where these are the people who understand that particular industry, right? So let's say there are 10 developers who are working on an airline product, so to say. They will not have the airline expertise. So typically, you will need a business analyst or a domain expert who understands that industry and explains those pieces to the development people, right? So this is again a separate piece, and I'll come to what are the starting points and how you can get to different streams and things like that. Then there are certain jobs which are like BPO, KPO kind of job. BPO is all call center, so which is not really IT but IT enabled service. But that might be a career for many people. Then there is KPO, which is BPO is business process outsourcing. KPO is knowledge process outsourcing, where you run the business operations of another company, right? So there, it's not really BPO. You may not be sitting in a call center taking calls and things like that, but you might be outsource a certain process. So, for example, when I was in Infosys, we had Cisco as our customer for KPO, and we used to do all the order management, right? So any order which used to come to Cisco, that was managed by Infosys, right? So making sure you have the payment, and then pushing that order to the right warehouse, or making sure that the delivery has been made and things like that. That piece was being done. Then comes delivery management. These are more senior roles, so delivery management is all about managing different parts of the organization. It could be development, engineering, testing, support, and so on. And then there are some roles, as in any industry, which is into sales and relationship management. Right now, in IT industry, it is very, very important. I mean, most of the times, the people who understand IT, they do much better in this sales and relationship management kind of role. So a lot of people actually graduate to these kind of roles, right? So you may not go into a sales or relationship management role right away, but you might graduate into that. Any questions here? Okay, right. So these are the broad paths. There might be some more paths as well, but broadly, this pretty much covers everything, right? Now, what is the salary that you can expect? The salary is like, the range is very, very varied. The salary is anywhere between 1.2 to 50 lakhs per annum. And that's the reality, right? So it's 25 times, the higher end is 25 times the lower end, but that's the reality.